My TNA Victory Road 2009 pay-per-view predictions. Pay-per-view is live tomorrow night exclusively on pay-per-view. And this card right here doesn't look like it's pay-per-view worthy. In my opinion, this card right here is nothing more than Impact quality matches thrown together on a pay-per-view. This is more or less just going to be a throwaway pay-per-view. I don't think that many people are expecting anything different. Even diehard TNA fans, you got to question this pay-per-view card right here, because really there's nothing on this pay-per-view that's going to make me watch it. Now, since this is a pay-per-view and TNA pay-per-view, I will check it out. But if this pay-per-view, and if you're one of the people saying I'm not going to tune into this pay-per-view, I'm not going to check it out, I really can't disagree with you, and I completely understand if you do miss this pay-per-view. But I will check it out. Out of this card right here, the women's match is probably the thing I'm looking forward to the most. The match with Angelina Love versus Tara, and possibly the Samoa Joe and Sting match has potential to be pretty good. But other than that, this card right here doesn't spell out anything that's pay-per-view worthy. Even those matches right there, the women's match, the Knockouts title match, that's probably the only thing that actually seems like it's pay-per-view worthy. And they did that match on Impact, so yes, you kind of can say that's Impact quality right there. Now, first match will be the Blueprint Matt Morgan versus Daniels. This will be a step up for Daniels, since last month he had that terrible match with Shane Douglas. But this might be good. Daniels is a great worker. And Matt Morgan, he's a decent big man. He's a decent big man at best. So this has potential to at least be watchable, and I do see Matt Morgan going over in this match. Then the next matchup will be Abyss versus Dr. Stevie. And this match right here, if this would have a gimmick stipulation towards it, either a street fight, no DQ, barbed wire, thumbtacks, anything like that, this would have the potential to be, very good, or at least good overall if it had a stipulation towards it. And surprisingly, this is actually a TNA pay-per-view that doesn't have any stipulations on any of the matches, which I kind of like that. They aren't over-gimmicking a pay-per-view. But with a match like Abyss versus Dr. Stevie, whether if you have gimmicks towards it, it could be actually very good. And if you don't have gimmicks towards it, it's going to be utter shit and terrible. And I see Abyss winning this match, but it's not going to be anything worth watching right here as far as this match goes. If it had stipulations, it probably would be better. Then you got the next match, and this match right here is a waste of space on the pay-per-view. And not only that, I can probably say right now, this match right here will be classified as the worst match of the year, and this is the Sharmell versus Jenna Morasca match. No one cares about this. Why are you even doing this? It's very stupid you're even having these two have a match on pay-per-view. Hopefully it's quick and short, but nonetheless, no matter how much time it's given, this match is probably going to be classified as one of the worst matches of the year. I highly doubt it will not be. And in this match, I guess, you have Sharmell win probably in this match. Who really cares? Then the next matchup will be Team 3 versus the British Invasion for the IWGP Tag Team Championships. Yes, the IWGP Tag Team Championships, not the New Japan Tag Team Championships that TNA is referring to the titles as. TNA, if you're actually going to have the titles from another promotion on your pay-per-view, at least call it by the actual name that the titles are. That would be like Ring of Honor bringing in a champion from Pro Wrestling Noah. Instead of calling it a GHC Championship, we'll call it the Pro Wrestling Noah Championship. It sounds very idiotic. Now, I know most casual fans might not pick that up, that, oh, it's not, they'll just call it New Japan even though it's IWGP, but still call it by the official name. Team 3D is obviously going to win this match. Team 3 is not going to drop the IWGP Tag Team Championships to the British Invasion. New Japan won't let that happen. And the only tag team that I would even see Team 3D losing those titles to on U.S. soil to a TNA tag team is probably Beer Money, and they already did that match, and that didn't happen. So most likely Team 3D, they're going to keep a hold of these titles and lose it over in Japan at some point down the line. But it might be a decent tag team match. Now, the next matchup will be Tara versus Angelina Love for the TNA Knockouts Championship. Now, I haven't gave my thoughts on Tara, a.k.a. Victoria, winning the Knockouts Championship. Thought it was a great moment seeing her win the Knockouts Championship, but I'm kind of in the side of that they gave it to her way too soon. I think they should have built it up a little more. And what I really wanted TNA to do is have Angelina Love hold on this title for a few more months, have Tara chase her for the title, and then at Bound for Glory, defeat Angelina Love for the title there. Not only will that make Angelina Love look very good as a women's champion for TNA, but it will be a great moment for Tara winning the title at TNA's, Super Bowl, their biggest pay-per-view of the year. And it'll be a bigger moment than just giving it to her on pretty much, nonetheless, a throwaway match on a TNA Impact. Now, I don't have no problem with, title matches changing on Impact, but you kind of need, to at least have a little build to it and at least make it seem like it's something, not just a match that's thrown together and just for the sake of changing a title since they think it's going to, make people tune into it. But I think they should, gave her the title down the line. They gave it to her way too soon. Obviously, in this match, Tara is going to retain the TNA Knockouts title just because it'll be completely ridiculous and idiotic for TNA to have her lose the TNA Knockouts Championship right back to Angelina Love since she just recently won it on one of the recent TNA Impacts. Now, the next matchup will be for the TNA World Tag Team Championships. It'll be Scott Steiner and Booker T teaming up versus Beer Money Incorporated. Now, these two tag matches on this pay-per-view, I don't know why they're even doing. I think they could come up with a better, tag match for Team 3D and Beer Money Incorporated if TNA claims they're the, best tag company in the United States or best company in the world for tag team wrestling. Well, these are the two tag team matches to try to prove that you're the best tag team company in the world. It's really not doing a good job trying to at least prove that, even though most people know you're not the best tag team company in the world. You're just, a step up from WWE since you actually recognize your tag teams and your tag team championships more than WWE actually does. In this match, Beer Money Incorporated will go over in this match. I don't see them giving the titles to Scott Steiner and Booker T, even though TNA is kind of doing something where they're building it up as, Main Event Mafia could walk out of this pay-per-view with all the titles. Even though they're doing that, I don't see Beer Money Incorporated losing the titles since they haven't really had them that long to start with. Then the next matchup will be Kevin Nash versus AJ Styles, and I know a lot of people are going to be shocked when I'm saying this match, what I'm actually not going to mind. This is going to be for the Legends Championship, and I'm actually going to say if AJ loses this match, I really do not care. It's for the Legends title, and I think the Legends title is doing more hurt for AJ Styles than it's actually helping him. I think it's hurting him even having this title. Just have him lose it, have Main Event Mafia come out there, do something behind the referee's back, and have Nash win it that way. Don't have Nash go over him cleanly. Now, if you do that, that is going to hurt AJ. But if you have Nash win it by shady means, I'm okay with that. Just because this title, why are they even having this title still continue in TNA? That just boggles my mind. Why are they even having this title continue? So I see Kevin Nash winning this title here, and I don't have no problem with it, just because I think it's a title that's, a waste of space in TNA and shouldn't even been exist. After, AJ Styles won it, he should have just, threw down the title and said, no more with this title instead of keep defending it. I think that's the idiotic decision that the TNA is doing with that. Then the next matchup will be Samoa Joe versus Sting. Now, this match right here has the potential to be pretty good. I actually will say this match might be pretty good. They had a, solid match at Bound for Glory 2008. Wasn't a great match, but it was at least a solid match. And this might be an okay overall match between Samoa Joe and Sting. And in this match, I don't know if they're either going to do this in the match, before the match, or after the match, but Samoa Joe's mystery advisor is going to be revealed. And I got to even question the term mystery advisor, since everyone, unless you've been living under the rock, obviously knows who the mystery advisor is going to be, and that is Taz. And I'm pretty sure TNA is going to call him Taz, even though I know Taz, T-A-Z, I know WWE owns that, and the Taz with the, not T-A-Z is owned by Warner Brothers, and T-A-Z-Z, the two Z's, is owned by WWE, but I think TNA could get around that and still call him Taz, even since that's obviously what people know him as. They're obviously not going to call him Peter Sonersha. So obviously he's going to be going under the Taz persona in TNA, and it's just going to look like, I think he's just going to be managing in TNA, because he stated that he's not going to come in there and wrestle a match. So It'd be a cool moment, I guess, to see Taz with Samoa Joe, but I think this would have, been more enjoyable a couple of years ago, other than now, when Taz probably could have actually done something in the ring. But might be decent. This match overall, I see Samoa Joe going over in this match, defeating Sting. Then the next matchup, the last matchup is going to be for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. It's going to be Mick Foley versus Kurt Angle in this main event right here. The main events for TNA have been very weak over probably the last year. They keep just getting worse and worse. Now, TNA, you do know that the main event is supposed to be the selling point for the pay-per-view. Even if you had other stuff on this pay-per-view that happened to be good, I have the feeling that, when I, look at a pay-per-view, look at an event or whatnot, if you got a weak title match, that's going to overall hurt the event, in my opinion. And Mick Foley versus Kurt Angle, as great as Kurt Angle is in the ring, I don't think Kurt Angle can even pull out a good match with Mick Foley right now. Mick Foley is way past his prime, and Mick Foley, nowadays, he's only relegated to gimmick matches. That's pretty much the only type of matches he actually can probably pull out a good match with nowadays is gimmick matches. And Mick Foley and Kurt Angle, it's not going to be any good at all. It's not going to be a pretty sight. Now, I see Kurt Angle winning this match, keeping a hold of the TNA Championship. And like I said, this card right here just looks completely atrocious. This is a terrible card for a pay-per-view, and if TNA is expecting more than 5,000 pay-per-view buys for this, I'm going to be really shocked, because I got to question anyone's actually going to go out their way and pay $30 for this pay-per-view, as even though I think Samoa Joe and Sting might be pretty good, and the Knockouts title match might be pretty good. Those two matches right there are at best maybe worth $10. At best, maybe you worth that. And even the worst thing, they don't even got a TNA X Division Championship match on here, especially since Homicide just recently won the Tag Team the X Division Championship on Impact. And I thought maybe they'll do another a rematch between Homicide versus Suicide, or just have him defend the X Division Championship. I think they could have done something where they could have had one of those elimination-style X Division title matches where they would have 5 or 6 people in there, have that open the pay-per-view, and that could have been, a very good and great match. But apparently TNA, at least at this time right now, they're not going to have an X Division match unless it's going to get added right before the pay-per-view. I just looked at TNA's website, and they have not, announced anything saying that there's going to be a TNA X Division Championship, so it doesn't look like we'll be getting one on there. And that's been the thing out of, this year with TNA, even though a lot of TNA pay-per-views have been subpar this year, most people can at least say that a lot of the times the X Division match at least made the show at least decent, or at least helped it overall, and at least gave you somewhat of a reason to check out the pay-per-views on some occasions. And like I said, this pay-per-view just doesn't look good from this card, and I will be giving my thoughts on this pay-per-view, TNA Victory Road 2009, tomorrow night, early Monday, sometime Monday at the latest. And yeah, that's it. Peace. Together on a pay-per-view. This is more or less just going to be a throwaway pay-per-view. I don't think that many people are expecting anything different. Even diehard TNA fans, you got to question this pay-per-view card right here, because really there's nothing on this pay-per-view that's going to make me watch it. Now, since this is a pay-per-view, my TNA Victory Road 2009 pay-per-view predictions. Pay-per-view is live tomorrow night exclusively on pay-per-view. And this card right here doesn't look like it's pay-per-view worthy. In my opinion, this card right here is nothing more than Impact quality matches thrown. You'll check it out. They're out of this card right here. The women's match is probably the thing I'm looking forward to the most. The match with Angelina Love versus Tara, and possibly the Samoa Joe and Sting match has potential to be pretty good. But other than that, the TNA pay-per-view, I will check it out. But if this pay-per-view, and if you're one of the people saying I'm not going to tune into this pay-per-view, I'm not going to check it out, I really can't disagree with you, and I completely understand if you do miss this pay-per-view. But I will add this card right here doesn't spell out anything that's pay-per-view worthy. Even those matches right there, the women's match, the Knockouts title match, that's probably the only thing that actually seems like it's pay-per-view worthy. And they did that match on Impact, so yes, you kind of